Hello Aquarius, welcome to your February Tarotscope for 2022. So I'm just kind of cleansing here with some Palo Santo, and then of course I have my homebrewed Florida water that's available in my shop that I cleansed with. And we don't have any planets retrograde right now, which is really nice, not until April. So your season is kind of finally starting to kick off, which is good. Because with the Venus retrograde, the Mercury retrograde, it's been a little dull. So it's going to be nice to kind of get some forward momentum going for you. All right, so I'm pulling a signifier here like I normally do if you've seen my readings before. And if you're new, this is a card that's kind of like the main energy happening for you this month. And I also like to use a combination of astrology, a combination of oracle. So we're going to just be mixing it up and it's going to be fun. And I will have pictures of the spreads later on, so you can see those. Okay, so what I have here for your monthly energy is the Hangman Reversed. And then I also have here Connection. So, sorry it's a little blurry, but trying to get my my angle right. But we have Connection and then we have the Hangman Reversed. So major start right away. And I kind of feel like for you, this is that retrograde energy, no longer, in your sign, no longer in the midst of your moment. And you're kind of able to come through this cocoon experience and fly. And it's nice. It's nice because you feel like you can connect more again with the energy that's around you, connect with people. I feel like I have to hold it up here. And, just kind of see what happens with, connection with people coming into your life and kind of feeling now that these retrogrades are over with, you can express yourself more and you can be around groups. Of course, we still have this pandemic going on. We don't want to forget that, but it is definitely being able to feel like you're kind of part of the team, part of the game again. And also, this year is a lover's year in tarot. That is the card of 2022. So this is going to be great for you because it's like fellow air sign energy. It's going to be great for you to meet new people, express yourself, and just being able to collaborate and like really kind of putting yourself out there a little bit and like feeling okay, feeling sincere in doing that, and not like some anxious energy of like, oh, what if it goes wrong? What if these people don't like me? It's like, it's going to be okay. Like, people do like you. Don't have so much anxiety about like social commitments and just like social things coming into your life. Like just accept the invitations and be open to, people coming and wanting to be in your energy. And of course with that, there's discernment because, not everyone can vibe with our energy even though they want to be in it. So being discerning is kind of that duality with this Gemini lover's year energy coming through. And of course for your sign, being more open to new company, being more open to new connections is going to kind of instill in some practice of discernment for you. Okay, so I just kind of want to pull some cards here with my favorite deck that I like to use, which is Spoilia Tarot here. The one we were just using was Way Home Tarot and Oracle of Oddities. And even if you're like, oh my gosh, this Hangman energy, I'm not vibing with it, I don't want it. It's like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, it all kind of makes sense when the energies really start to shift. And I think you'll feel it more now that this retrograde is over. Okay, so this is what I'm pulling here. I'll tell you what the cards are and then we'll go through it. So I have Virgo here, trying to get it clear. There we go. It's like a little game. We have Virgo here, upright. Another astrology sign of Aries coming through. All right. Yeah, Aries. There we go. And then I have the Seven of Swords here, reversed. So we got the reversal of this card. All right, so let's start with Virgo because this energy with Virgo is going to be very present in our lives because it's the 6th house, and the 6th house is the opposite of the 12th house, which was Pisces. And we have Jupiter in Pisces this year. So it's definitely going to be a lot of Virgo energy coming through with, are we taking care of ourselves? How's our mental health? How's our well-being, physically, spiritually, emotionally? You know, how are we nurturing ourselves, but also how are we nurturing others and committing ourselves to our task, to the work that makes us feel important, to the work that makes us help others and be of service. So, you know, for you, as you're kind of instilling some of these connections here, it is going to be, I'm trying to see if I can get it clear. It is going to be this energy of, all right, so we're coming together, and it's kind of like time to come together. We're coming together, and you know, what are we going to cultivate? What are we going to do? You know, are we going to be mending this garden? Are we going to be mending this other garden? And kind of having this humanitarian effort, but coming through it with an awareness that, you know, there's going to be work that needs to be done. We have to roll up our sleeves. We have to get ready to move forward this month and to do the needed and necessary work that we're being called to do now that these planets are now direct, and we can really move forward and kind of get clear about that vision. And Virgo is just kind of like a helping hand of like, yes, work, you know, help others, do the tasks that you're being called to do, but making sure that you're looking out for your well-being, making sure you're not experiencing burnout, and that you uphold your boundaries of your self-care and mental health. And you know, if you are thinking about a new job, if you're thinking about new career endeavors, like, you know, kind of contemplating what is the work that you want to do in this life, not that you feel like you have to do, but what is it that your heart is truly aligning and calling for you to do. And that might be kind of where this expression of self comes through with this Aries energy reversed, is that maybe you don't really know fully what the story is going to look like. You have little like hints and nudges of like what it is that you want it to be, but you don't really know how to fully navigate that path. And that's okay, because, you know, Aries will be in Jupiter for the majority of 2023, but it will dip its toes into Jupiter will dip its toes into Aries this summer, starting in May. So, you know, it's kind of like, just kind of do what you need to do. Take each day as it comes. Try to be as productive as you can within that day, doing the tasks that you're called to do and that you know you kind of need to do. It's kind of like sometimes the grunt work we don't want to do when we're kind of closing a chapter and moving forward, because Pisces season is around the corner, and this is a moment for endings. It's not really a moment for beginnings right now. So, you know, kind of like, you know, what kind of the work that you need to do, or how you need to prepare yourself to get yourself in alignment with this Aries energy once Aries season comes on March 21st. So, you know, just spend the next month and a couple weeks just doing the work, doing what you need to do. If you want to get a new job, you know, what is the work that you need to do in order to align yourself with that new job? Is it updating your resume? Is it applying? Is it going on interviews? Is it working on your portfolio or other materials like certifications and things like that that you need to put yourself in alignment with those goals? You know, if you're thinking about something with like money and finances, you know, how are some ways, you know, tax season is here. So how are some ways to kind of get a hand on all that? Like get your paperwork together. If you are doing anything with business or trying to elevate your work and career, it's like, what are the steps, what are the measures that you need to do to get yourself into that mode of alignment for this new beginning to start that you want to have? So you don't have the green line yet. You know, the Hangman is like reverse, is saying like, you know what, you're walking, like you're, you know, awakening from this suspension here. You're unsuspending yourself. You're climbing down from that cocoon or from that tree, but you know, you are trying to find the right means of trying to get yourself to where you want to be once Aries season comes around. And a lot of that is through the connections that we're making, because we need other people to kind of help us get to that new chapter. And a lot of that is going to look like a lot of social dynamics and using a lot of social tools like social media or email, applying for new employment online, or if you are trying to move up in some way, or, you know, get a home or something, like all these things involves other people. So you have to connect accordingly to get what you want. And, you know, if you do the work now with this Virgo energy, by the time Aries season comes around you know, you'll be able to have this energy upright. But for now, it's reversed. And we have here this energy coming through with the Seven of Swords reversed, which is interesting, with the Seven of Swords here. So this is just kind of saying that, you know, what brought you into some awareness during the Mercury retrograde? What is the truth? What is the information that you received? And there could be a lot of information coming to you now that was, you know, put on hold, or if you were waiting for something, waiting for a response, waiting for an answer, even waiting for mail. Like, I know I was waiting for a very important letter and a very important like check, and it took literally the whole entire retrograde for me to try to get it. And the day Mercury went direct, of course I got it, which I kind of figured that was how it was going to be. So it is definitely like you're receiving that information that was kind of on hold or like held from you. And you know, a lot of it maybe are things that aren't as bad as what you thought they were going to be, or it's kind of like the blessing in disguise of the waiting. So it's just kind of like, you know what, holding tight a little bit. And you know, once you get the information that you've been trying to receive and you've been waiting on, you know, what are you going to do with it? How do you feel about the answers you're receiving? Especially when it comes to other people, now that you're connecting more, now that, you know, people are back, you know, socializing a little bit more, and the connections, the information isn't so muddled. It is like, well, you know what, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this news that I'm receiving, this information? Or, you know, even confirming within yourself kind of what you knew all along. And it's like, okay, I had a hunch. I knew something was up. And then, you know, it comes into the light, and you're like, ew. So it is just, sometimes the waiting period, there is some grace there until we get what we want. And we're like, oh, actually, I kind of wish I didn't know that. That's kind of how the Seven of Swords shows up reversed. All right, so I'm pulling some oracle cards in combination here. So with this Virgo energy, I'm pulling blood sacrifice here. So very interesting with that. And then I have here, ignore the proceedings. And then I have, it's not about you. Get this clear here. I just got the new iPhone, so I'm trying to figure out how to work the cinematographer mode. So bear with me, you know, this is new for me. So thank you for your patience as I get the pictures clear. So blood sacrifice here. And, you know, with this Virgo energy, are you making a blood sacrifice with the work that you're doing? Do you feel like you're sacrificing yourself, your mental health, your well-being? Are you, you know, in burnout mode? And maybe that's why you're kind of trying to find ways to progress within the work that you do, or like try to change the situation and bring more health and awareness and love and connection to your own physical body. And you know, that's kind of why you're working towards something new right now. And it's a little scary. It's a little dodgy right now, because I feel like it's a little dark. It's a little mysterious with this Jupiter Pisces energy. It's like, you know what you need to do. You know, like the steps you need to take. Sometimes it's a little, you know, elusive, but it's an emotional response of how you're moving forward, but you don't really so much see the physical outcome, the tangible outcome of what it is you're trying to manifest, which is why this Aries energy is reversed here. And, you know, it's kind of like, is this the hill that you're willing to die on? We got to ask ourselves that with the Saturn and Aquarius energy for the next year and a half. It's like, is this the hill that you want to die on? Do you want to die at this job? You know, is this relationship worth dying for? Or is this worth the sacrifice? Is this worth the blood sacrifice of, I'm committing to this and I'm going to do what it takes until I reach said goal? You know, it's kind of like, is this the fight you want to fight? Is this the blood sacrifice you want to make? Because this is going to be your commitment. So if you are, you know, getting job offers, if you are, you know, accepting new forms of friendships or connections or groups, or, you know, if you're thinking about relocating, moving, promoting, getting a promotion to get more responsibility or a different title, is this what you really want? Are you willing to do the work? And that's kind of what this Virgo energy is reflecting here with the blood sacrifice. Are you willing to do the work? And is this the work you want to do? Because Sometimes it's not. Sometimes we're like, ooh, actually, never mind. I don't want to do this. And that's totally okay. So I have here, ignore the proceedings with this Aries energy coming through. And this is kind of saying like, you know, you can get wisdom and guidance from divination, of course. You know, it should be your cheerleader. But you also have to just use your instinct as well and be like, you know what? This is where I got to move. This is how I got to move. This is how I got to do it. This is how I got to respond. And that's kind of this gift of this Aries energy here is like, you know, it's a little bit delayed. It's not the right time to act right now because you're kind of doing the work. So you haven't stepped into that new state of mind. You haven't stepped really into that new cycle or beginning, which you will have in March. But it is kind of like, ignore the proceedings of also a lot of misguidance and misinformation. And sometimes, you know, yes, these tools, you know, I'm a tarot reader. Of course I love tarot. Of course I love astrology. But it is also, you have to just go off of your gut and your instinct. And that is intuitive. That is something that, you know, you can kind of pick up through cards, but you also have to just kind of listen to your own inner voice and just move accordingly. So kind of like as you're, you know, going through this blood sacrifice moment is like, you know, trying to get like different tools of wisdom from, you know, friends, from, you know, your tarot deck, from what's going on with the astrology in your chart to the crystals. What are they telling you? Yes, I do have this telepathic communication with my crystals, but it is definitely just kind of saying, you know, ignore the proceedings. Like instinctively, what do you feel about this? Do you really feel like you want to commit yourself to this new career? Do you want to commit yourself to this new relationships, location, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to change and mold and transform? It's like, is this the commitment you want to have? And, you know, what is your inner voice? What is your gut telling you? So you got to listen to that. And then with the Seven of Swords energy, sometimes it's kind of nice to pull here. It's not about you. And we got to kind of remember that here is that, you know, sometimes people are on another wavelength and sometimes it lines up. And then sometimes it's like, you know what, it's just way out of bounds. Like we are just not compatible right now. And you got to let people find their own way and do their own thing. And, you know, for you, it's like if you're seeing some Seven of Swords, you know, fuckery, you got to decide, is this the show I still want to, you know, commit to watching? Or is it time for me to leave the audience? Because, you know, it's ultimately not about you, what people are going through. Like sometimes we want to put ourselves, you know, in front of the fire and be like, oh my God, this person is mad because something I did, or, you know, there's some drama because maybe I did something. And it's like, actually, maybe it's just something that's going on personally with them. We don't know all the battles people are going through because a lot of times people aren't going to be transparent about their inner struggles. And it's also knowing the boundary of, you know, is it our business or not? You know, sometimes we just have to accept that, you know, people are acting and behaving out of an energy or a way that has nothing to do with us. And it is so hard when our ego, like, it rules us. And our ego is like, oh my gosh, like, why aren't they responding? Why is this going on? And we get like crazed. And it's like, actually, they just might be doing with something that's not even related to anything about us. They're not even thinking about us most of the time. And then also thinking about, you know, flipping that coin on top of ourselves is like, you know, sometimes we're going through something and we don't feel like, you know, it's anyone else's business, but also it has nothing to do with, you know, anyone. Sometimes we just want some space. Sometimes we're just angry at the world and we just have to kind of accept, especially Aquarius, you get yourself in this funk about overanalyzing and the anxiousness of, you know, what other people are doing and how they're responding to you. And you just gotta know that it's just not about you. It's okay. Just focus on yourself. Focus on, you know, the work that you're doing and what you're trying to move forward into. Don't get so fixated on other people's energy and just know it's not about you, babe. It's not about you. So take the pressure off of yourself. And I'm just going to wrap up here with two more cards. Okay, so I have here this astrology card of the 5th house. If I can get it clear here. So we have the 5th house. And then I have here the 4 of Swords reversed. So with the 5th house, this is Leo energy. This is your opposite sign, Aquarius. So it's kind of like the medicine. The opposite sign that we have in our, the wheel of astrology that is reflective of our sign is the medicine that we need. So for you, the medicine that you need with your social life and connections is through the 5th house. You have to put yourself out there more. You have to be more comfortable in the limelight and just communicating and expressing yourself with other people and knowing that you'll have support, knowing that you're not alone in this. And you really got to study up on some Leo energy and just kind of see like how can that dynamic work with you, because it is your stepsister sign. So it's kind of like you need the medicine of the 5th house of Leo to kind of instill more confidence into your life and into the work that you're doing. So definitely don't shy away from Leo energy. You might have like a grudge about it, you know, it's natural, but you got to find the medicine that's going to work for you. And the 4 of Swords reversed here is just kind of saying like it's really a good connection here with the Hangman reversed, and it's just kind of saying like it's time for you to you know, get back out there. It's time for you to kind of see what's waiting for you, and you've thought about things, you've had the contemplation, and you know, what new world do you want to build? What new blood sacrifices are you going to make or not make? And just kind of taking a lot of the social pressure off of yourself, because you're not on everyone's mind, unfortunately. Sometimes you are, but sometimes you're not. It's not always about you. And ignore the proceedings. You know, this new beginning, this new chapter is being awakened to you, and you have to instinctively move through and connect with that inner Aries fire energy. You have Aries coming through, and then you have the 5th house coming through. So it's definitely a lot of guidance that you need to use the fire around you to keep yourself warm and to kind of push you through some of these challenges that you have and a lot of the work that you're being called to do in excess. So that is the Tarotscope for February for you, Aquarius. Happy Aquarius season. Happy birthday to all the Aquarius. And thank you so much for checking this out. And if you want a personal reading with me, head over to the link in my bio. I have readings on sale right now and a bunch of other amazing magical treasures. So thank you so much and enjoy your season.